Hey guys, how you going? Campbell here from Autodidactic Channel. Hope you're all having a spectacular day. And today I wanted to talk about AI. It'll probably just be a fairly short video, but I was thinking about the term AI and what it relates to and what it might actually mean, because we know that these people love to talk in symbols and they have their own language. So what are they saying when they are saying AI? Artificial intelligence, or AI, is intelligence demonstrated by machines. Unlike natural intelligence displayed by humans and animals, which involves consciousness and emotionality, the distinction between the former and the latter categories is often revealed by the acronym chosen. Strong AI is usually labeled as AGI, or Artificially General Intelligence, while attempts to emulate natural intelligence have been called ABI, or Artificial Biological Intelligence. Leading AI textbooks define the field as the study of intelligent agents, any device that perceives its environment and takes action that maximizes its chance of success achieving its goals. Colloquially, the term artificial intelligence is often used to describe machines or computers that mimic cognitive functions that humans associate with the human mind, such as learning and problem solving. So there you go. Basically, we know what AI is. AI is basically machines, computers that can make, decisions, I guess. They're not real decisions because they're based on algorithms at the moment, or so we're told. But yeah, it's basically trying to build something like a mind of a human that they can control and use, basically. That's what AI is. Now, the thing about an acronym, I guess, AI, is the A sound, A. We have here A, and you see this in a lot of old world spelling. It's the EA, which sounds like A, and it's a Mesopotamian deity. So A is Akkadian for Enki, for the Sumerian Enki, the Mesopotamian god of water, and a member of the triad of deities completed by Anu and Enlil. So obviously Anu is like their trinity. That's like the father, the main god. And then we have Enki and Enlil, who are supposed to be brothers, one good and one bad. So that's sort of the, as Martin would say, the opposing toroids. But it's, the good and the bad. From a local deity worshipped in the city of Eridu. Now, Eridu is the first city. That's where Gilgamesh lived. A evolved into a major god, lord of the Apsu, also spelled Abzu, the fresh waters beneath the earth, although Enki means literally lord of the earth. In the Sumerian myth, Enki is said to have fixed national boundaries and assigned gods their roles. According to another Sumerian myth, Enki is the creator, having devised men as slaves to the gods. In his original form as Enki, he was associated with the semen and amniotic fluid, and that semen is in, baby fluid, and therefore with fertility. He was commonly represented as a half goat, half fish creature, from which the modern astrological figure of Capricorn is derived, or so they say. So a few points in that. Enki, who is A, and we have AI, and of course, I'll let it out now. What is the second, right? We've got A, and then we've got I, as in the thing we see through, as in, the symbol, right? The NWO symbol, the eye in the sky, the eye of Sauron. So AI, is that literally the eye of Enki? Is that Enki watching us, the god? And who is Enki? This is the question, right? Is this the god that they're worshipping? Because it says that he's commonly represented as a half goat. And we know what that symbolism is. And of course that links straight back to Pan as well. And the whole goat symbolism is very, very, NWO, right? And of course he represents water. And we have the whole Phoenician narrative. And he's associated with seamen. And isn't it interesting? And I always wondered why it was called that, because, people who are in boats are also called seamen, right? And he's the god of water and seamen. So is this a bit of play on language as well? Is this them sort of, spinning their weird story? Because it all sort of seems to fit in, because here it says Enki is said to have fixed national boundaries and assigned gods their roles. So question is, who are the gods? And if he's fixed natural borders, this is what it sounds like. They've come down or they've come in, they've come from somewhere, he has, and basically taken over. Now, we're not sure how old this narrative is from. I'm not sure how big the populations were, or if he's completely created us, if he actually existed. But, a lot of these gods and sort of mythical people are based on something, even if we don't get the whole 100% story. But yeah, it sounds like he's come down and he's sort of gone, okay, this place we're going to now cut it up, and we're going to put a ruler in each little section to tell, the little humans what they need to do for us. And of course, where are we now, guys? We're still in that paradigm, all right? Slave world. So the Akkadian counterpart of Enki, was the god of ritual purification. Ritual cleansing waters were called A's water. Governed the arts of sorcery and incantation. In some stories, he was also the form-giving god, and thus the patron of craftsmen and artists. He was known as the bearer of culture. In his role as advisor to the king, was a wise god, although not a forceful one. In Akkadian myth, as A's character evolves, he appears frequently as a clever mediator who could be devious and cunning. He is also significant in Akkadian mythology as the father of Marduk, the national god of Babylon. Okay, so there you go. There's just so much in that. Really, it just links up to a lot for me. Obviously, the arts of sorcery. He governed the arts of sorcery and incantations. Ritual purification. Now, who do we know that are really into rituals these days? And who's into sorcery and incantations? And down here it even says, some of the stories he was also the form-giving god. That means created us, I guess. But he was known as the bearer of culture. So literally, he imposed the cult of Okay, he had the son, Marduk, who was the god of Babylon. Tower of Babylon, Babylon, where they divided us more and divided the languages. And it even says he was a mediator and could be very devious and cunning. So a mediator, he's one of these people. He's a whisperer. Goes in, spreads all these lies and gets people to change their minds and fight each other so that he can bring in his cult of What do you think? That's what it's sounding like to me. And we also have EA, or A, sports and games. Play EA. So these guys make computer games, sports games. And of course, sports, right? This is the whole thing. It used to be bread and circuses. Now it's sports and, I don't know, takeaway, pizza, something like that. But yeah, the whole sport thing is to get us distracted and just waste our time, really, watching men kick bits of leather around a field. So is that part of it as well? And no doubt there are other companies called A around, and it'd be interesting to see what they're into. And I guess, is this combination of letters been inserted into words as well. You know, words like treat and cheat and all that, the EA words. So yeah, just another thought. And so here we have Enki or A. And he's this Sumerian dude. We see these pictures everywhere. You know, they look like giants. They've come in. They're always holding the bags and the pine cones and things, often related to birds and other bits and pieces. Flight, you can see this is a lion. So if that's true to size, these dudes are pretty big. It looks like, is that another person there maybe? Small person? But yeah, this is Enki. And this is the fish head. So remember they said that he was half goat and half fish. And of course, we get these fish-headed gods. And what do we see in the Vatican today? Right, is the papal hats, the fish head hats that the Pope wears and all the bishops. So this is the same kind of symbology just going down through the ages. And of course, that's what they show us in the Vatican. And then their other half that we don't get shown so much is the worship of, you know, the goat feet, Baphomet, Pan. And of course that they love their rituals and stuff. So this narrative, again, something has come in, someone, some entity, some parasite, come in from somewhere, right? Who knows? A portal, maybe? Don't know. And he's basically imposed culture, the cult of on us. You know, he's divided up the lands and put a god, in inverted commas, in each to rule each land. Basically creating a prison planet of what we've got today, you know, a slave planet. And we can see that all this goes straight up to what we've got today, to the same, those who wish to rule us, you know, they're doing this same stuff. We've got the fish head symbolism in the Vatican. We've got the goat feet symbolism, you know, with associated with all their rituals, shall we say. And this is also A, as in AI, or the eye, right, of A. Right? I always feel like there's someone watching me. I am the eye in the sky, looking at you. I can read your mind. I mean, how many songs do we have like this, right? Private eyes, they're watching you. I mean, there's so many. And of course, these are all mainstream promoted songs. And this is all part of the narrative. And of course, the Eye of Sauron, right? Lord of the Rings. And of course, their own symbology. You know, the eye on the top of the pyramid. It's the eye of, is that the eye of A? Is that the AI? That's, yeah, that's kind of the point I wanted to make. That's what I wanted to put out there. AI, right? AI, because we know that they like to twist their words. They like to make things sound different, invert them, you know, to confuse us, because they speak in a different language to us. They speak in symbols. They don't, and they've taken away our language in Babylon when it was all split up, and we've been replaced with a language that's a trade language and really doesn't, you know, suffice. It doesn't work because it doesn't have enough explaining words in it. It's very hard to use the English language to explain yourself in a small amount of words. You have to use lots and lots of words and string them together to get any real point across. But clearly, you know, we know today because we have symbols everywhere because of computers. So we have that symbol. I'll bring it up for you. We have this symbol here. Now that is just clearly just a letter and, you know, a blue square, but that contains a lot of information, doesn't it? And this is what their symbol language is. They from a symbol they get a lot of information. You know, we get the f sound, but really that means, you know, social media platform, meeting friends, posting stuff, talking, live streaming, owned by a cyborg, you know, lots and lots of stuff. And so this is how we used to communicate. You know, we had the symbols and the language to be able to express ourselves properly, but they took that away in Babylon. And of course, our friend A here, he was the father of Marduk, who was the national god of Babylon. Babble on, right? Babble, babble. And of course this has got to do with their system of legal, because they say that if we don't speak legalese, then we babble and they can't hear us. So there you go. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. Just something I came across that I thought you might find interesting. AI. You know, is AI, is that really literally the God that they've imposed, and it's connected up to some, you know, intelligence of some kind? Was that intelligence here? Did they take it over? Did they bring it with them? Or are they just imposing it now and naming it after their God because they want it to be the controller God? A, right? The A, the I of A. And of course, we have movies as well called AI. There was one with Will Smith about the robots. I think it was an Arthur C. Clarke story originally. And of course, that is about, you know, the AI going bad, and it's supposed to be this story of, you know, how it could be bad. But really what it is it's programming to make us think that in the future there's going to be lots and lots of robots and AI around. So they're using the AI to program us to get ready for AI. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. Enki is A, but is he AI? Please like, comment, subscribe, share this content if you find it interesting. And of course, thank you to everyone who does support this channel. And if you would like to, there are links below. And thanks for spending some time with me. Stay awesome, 'cause you are. And I'll talk to you all on the next upload. Bye for now.